And I say a sustainable world requires people learn, educate themselves about what kind of economic model really gets us where we want to go. There are other potential partners. This is a sustainable education organization. There's Ryan Eisler, who's got partnershipway.org, and there's a National Peace Academy initiative at Case Western that is reaching out to the business world. That's why I like that initiative, because the business world is going to have a lot of influence on whatever we wind up with. And here's the essence of transformation. It's from being reactive to being proactive in how you solve your problems. If you're reactive and you have a problem, you protect yourself. It's all about minimizing risk, stopping bad stuff from happening to you, which leads to stopping bad things from happening to the world. Not bad, you gotta put out the fires, but it's not the whole story. The whole story is we are also a culture that invents. We do things we've never done before. That's not firefighting. That's taking risks because there's a probability that something positive is going to happen. And this is almost the last slide. This is a tribute to the unreasonable person inside all of us. And the software folk might enjoy this.
Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them, but the only thing you can't do is ignore them, because they change things. They push the human race forward. And while some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do.
That's an old Apple commercial. That was when the Macintosh first came out. That's from the 1980s. And that's Richard Dreyfuss doing the voiceover. So, this is great George Bernard Shaw quote: "The reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable one persists in trying to adapt the world to himself. Therefore, all progress depends on the unreasonable man." So, I'm inviting you to be unreasonable, to help launch a nonprofit that pushes the envelope by championing a way to get to a better future that nobody else seems to be talking about, certainly not in the realm of economics. We've got Bill McDonough doing his thing, and Avery Levin's doing his thing, and a lot of other people out there. But I have yet to find a pocket of people talking about a global, sustainable economic system. There are people who say we got to redesign, like Klaus Schwab, and then they fall right into the parts. They don't know design thinking, so they don't see. It's not about fixing the parts of the car. It's about building a boat. And here's my question to you all. What do you think you can work on that would help make this project happen? A lot of stuff to do to shape this and turn it from idea and research into a living, growing, developing nonprofit or organism. It is taking the theory to the next level. It doesn't mean just us, but reaching out to other people, looking for people who are comfortable with economic theory. I've got a list of people I was with for those 3 days, a couple hours a day, last year. I haven't been in touch with them, but I would be happy to. Education initiatives. How do we figure out how to teach this? I mean, this is a rough presentation. many variations on this that could be used depending upon the audience. Finances, writing, to put all this in that book, 1951, was not written by one person, it was written by a team. I would be happy to have collaborators on this book project.
How much do you get for that?
Huh?
How much do you get for writing a book?
Thank you.
I can't get you.
I'm just teasing you.
Oh, okay, thank you. Outreach, organizational development, by which I mean this organization's development. Because the biggest trap is to launch something and think that all you have to do is think about what's going on out there. You gotta have a piece, a significant piece that makes sure the organization itself is dynamic and growing and isn't stuck in some sort of rigid, fixated model. And then the other. So, who would like to say they'd like to be part of this?
I'd like to ask a question. I mean, I would like to be part of it.
Questions are great too.
In concept, I like, you know, in certain areas I'm more interested in than others. I'm going to ask a very practical question. What kind of, what constitutes involvement, in other words? And I don't want to be Bill Clinton, you know. No, I mean in terms of time-wise. In other words, you know, I'm, you know, struggling just to meet my own bills, you know. We could spend easily, one could spend, you know, 24 hours a day on any one of these areas. Really, if you
That
know.
wouldn't be a balanced
Right, a balanced approach to life, but you know, I'm exaggerating with that.
engagement model.
But,
You have to have,
right, well, you know, but
Like working.
that's an exaggeration, but I mean, how much,
Well-
if we get started, do this, you know, nonprofit, you know, thing,
yeah.
do you have a concept of how many hours a week, a day?
No, and I'll be honest, I respect the question, but to me, it's a kind of a cart before the horse question, because I'm focused on what has to happen. I don't know how much time it's gonna take. So to say to me, how many hours is this gonna take? It's like, I understand it, because you got only 24 hours in a day, you got all your other activities. I'd rather know how many hours you're comfortable with in a week, and then somehow match that with whatever you feel drawn to, and then we just let things pan out the way they pan out. This is not a mechanical universe here. This is.
I've gotta go, but I'm down, Robin, I'm go down for writing, I have to,
I'm sorry it went over.
You could put me down for writing on that.
Robin writing.
Yeah.
Robin Wright pen, I understand, Robin Wright.
Well,
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Can I ask a little bit more about that question? I understand what you're saying, I understand your response, but
Thank you.
let's say I'm interested in writing and outreach, that's my particular area,
Okay,
and
okay.
theory, all of those.
Hey, more the merrier.
You know, it would still involve somehow us meeting, whether virtually or,
Yes.
you know, in person.
We're gonna have a Yahoo group.
Yeah,
We're gonna have a Yahoo group.
this week will be up and I'll email all of you about it.
Oh, okay, because that also, you know, for me to answer that question, I have to know, are they gonna
Well,
be meeting?
I'll
know,
tell you what.
Right,
Let me just put you down as wanting to be involved.
right.
Details to be worked out later. We can't,
Okay.
as much as maybe in my dream I thought you'd all walk out of here knowing what you're gonna do tomorrow, I think that's unrealistic, especially since we ran long. I think what I would like to know is who has seen that they want to be part of this versus that it was interesting and it's nice to know, but you don't have time or it doesn't quite match up with your agenda the rest of your life. And either answer is fine. But there were like 15 of us here, fantastic, and I'm comfortable with however many decide, okay, I'm now not just interested, but I want to figure out what can I do. And you don't have to have the answer, you don't have to have the answer now. We will talk. We will figure out the details.
Aren't these like some kind of order?
Beg your pardon?
Aren't these like some kind of orders that we need to work on?
I didn't think of them as being in a sequence. I think of,
All at the same time? Because I would think, theory would come first in organization development.